You know this walk. Your dog is lunging forward, gasping for air at the end of the leash, while you dig your heels into the pavement just to keep from being dragged down the street. When a walk devolves into a wrestling match, it is incredibly easy to blame the animal. We assume they are being stubborn, trying to establish dominance, or are completely overwhelmed by a high prey drive. If the problem is a stubborn dog, the logical human response is to use physical force. We yank the collar, shorten the leash, or buy restrictive gear to wrestle back control of the walk. But look at this model of a walk. It shows a continuous loop of data signals bouncing between a human and a dog. Every time you shift your weight, tighten your grip, or speak a command, you are sending a data packet, and the dog is sending data right back. When your physical and verbal cues are intentional, that is a clear signal. But when you react unpredictably, yanking the leash one moment and letting them pull the next, you aren't communicating. You are flooding the channel with static. To stop the pulling and achieve a calm walk, we have to stop treating the leash like a physical restraint. It is a communication line, and right now, we are the ones introducing the noise. That noise almost always starts with our bodies. Without realizing it, our physical mechanics actively scramble the data we send to our dogs. Take the cross-body mistake. Most people are right-handed, so if we are training a dog to walk on our left side, we naturally reach across our torso with our right hand to deliver a treat. This schematic shows what happens as a result. Dogs are highly efficient. They move to where they expect the reward. By reaching across your body, you program the dog to drift right, cut directly in front of your knees, and break their heel position. The fix is purely mechanical. You deliver the reward with the hand that matches the dog's side. If they walk on the left, you reward with the left, keeping their forward momentum safely in their own lane. Then there is the leash itself. We instinctively believe that holding a tight leash gives us control over the dog's movements. This vector diagram shows what happens when we apply that tension. When a dog feels a tight collar, their brain stops processing your verbal commands and shifts entirely into a physical reaction. They lean into the tension instead of listening to you. This is why retractable leashes fail. The only way for a dog to move forward on a retractable leash is to pull against a spring. We mathematically prove to them that applying physical force is the only way to earn freedom. Every contradictory tug, tight grip, and poorly placed reward acts as mechanical static. We get frustrated that the dog isn't listening, but our bodies are actively training them to do the exact opposite of what we want. Once the physical mechanics are clean, we have to look at how we speak. In a multi-person household, verbal noise is practically guaranteed. Imagine a dog jumping on the couch. One family member yells down, another says off, a third person repeats the word no. To a dog, these aren't synonyms. They are conflicting data points for the exact same scenario. This signal degradation chart demonstrates the problem. Repeating a cue, like sit, 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 strips the word of meaning, teaching the dog the first requests are irrelevant noise. To clear the channel, the house must agree on a standardized code, one specific word for one specific action, spoken once. Do not repeat the word. Dogs process human language through strict pattern recognition. When we vary our vocabulary or repeat ourselves out of impatience, our instructions degrade into meaningless chatter. Even if your physical and verbal signals are perfect, there is one final variable that scrambles the data: the environment. A common error is expecting a dog to perform perfectly on a busy sidewalk just because they listen well in the kitchen. Think of it like reciting the alphabet. Sitting alone in your living room, it's effortless. Now try reciting it into a microphone on a stage in front of 10,000 people. Your brain gets overwhelmed by the context and you freeze. This radius map visualizes a distraction threshold, the specific distance where the smell of another dog or traffic overpowers your commands. Dogs experience cognitive overload just like we do. To push that boundary back, you must layer distractions progressively, intentionally increasing environmental noise only when the signal holds strong. A command taught in a vacuum rarely survives in chaos. If we want clear communication on a crowded street, we have to systematically stress test our signals to withstand the noise of the outside world. When you strip away the physical, verbal, and environmental static, the result is highly visible. The leash drops its tension, forming a perfect slack J shape between your resting hand and the dog's collar. The leash is a data line connecting two species, not a steering wheel to force compliance. By standardizing our vocabulary, correcting our body mechanics, and respecting distraction thresholds, we stop sending contradictory signals. We give the dog a chance to actually process our requests. Achieving a calm lock is about mastering your own consistency, clearing the noise, and finally letting the signal through.